Which of the 4 Ixalan commander decks are worth it? Starting with the Explorers of the Deep, this is going for around $117. Next is the Blood Rites, this is going for $125. The Ahoy Mateys deck, this is going for $126. And so far, the highest priced one is the Veloci-ramp-tor commander deck. This is going for $154.80. So let's talk about the most expensive cards in these decks. Starting with the creatures in the Explorers of the Deep commander deck, we have Metallic Mimic. This is going for around $8 right now. We also have Thassa, God of the Sea. This is also another $8 creature. We also have Kumena, Tyrant of Razka. This is $6 right now, commander that we typically see, and it's in the 99. Very merfolk heavy. We're talking tap 3 merfolk, draw a card, tap 5. Each merfolk gets a +1/+1 counter, and we can just tap 1 merfolk to make this unblockable. We also have Surge Spanner. This is a $5 card. Whenever this becomes tapped, we can pay 1 in a blue, and if we do, we can return target permanent to its owner's hand. We have Herald of Secret Streams. Creatures with +1/+1 counters on them are now unblockable. Next, we have Realm Walker. When it enters the battlefield, we're going to choose a creature type. We can look at the top card of our library at any time, and we can also cast creatures with the same type that we've chosen from the top of our library. Moving on to the enchantments, we have Branching Evolution. This is an $18 card as of right now. If 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature we control, twice that many +1/+1 counters are put on there instead. We also have Kindred Discovery. This is a great card whenever we want to draw cards, because whenever the creature type that we have chosen, whenever those creatures are entering or they're attacking, we get to draw a card every single time. We also have Simic Ascendancy. This is a win con for this deck, and this cares about growth counters on this card. As for some removal, we have Rapid Hybridization. We can destroy a creature and they get a 3/3 green frog lizard from the creature that we destroyed. The last one I want to mention is Alchemist's Refuge. This is a land that can tap for a colorless, or we can pay a green and a blue and tap this, and now we can cast non-land cards as though they had flash. Next, we're moving on to the Blood Rites deck. Starting with the creatures, we have Elenda the Dusk Rose. This is a $9 card. It's a 1/1 with lifelink. Whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Elenda the Dusk Rose. Whenever Elenda dies, we get to create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is Elenda's power. We also have Bloodghast. This is a $9 card. Bloodghast cannot block. It has haste as long as an opponent has 10 or less life, and whenever a land enters the battlefield under our control, we can return this from the grave to the battlefield. We also have Twilight Prophet. This is a $4 card. It has flying, it has ascend, which means if we have 10 or more permanents, we get the city's blessing for the rest of the game. And at our upkeep, we will reveal the top card of our library and put it into our hand. Each opponent's going to lose X life, and we're going to gain X life, where X is that converted mana cost. Let's talk about New Blood. This is an $8 card. As an additional cost to casting this, we can tap an untapped vampire we control. We can gain control of target creature, and we can change all the text of that creature by replacing all instances of one creature type with vampire. Pact of the Serpent. We can choose a creature type, and target player draws X cards and loses X life, where X is the number of creatures they control of the chosen type. And what probably most people are talking about is Exquisite Blood. This is a $35 card as of right now. It says whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. Next, we're talking about Ahoy Mateys. Starting with the creatures, we have Pitiless Plunderer. This is a $10 card. It says whenever another creature you control dies, create a colorless treasure token, and we can tap it, sacrifice it, and get 1 mana of any color. We also have Time Stream Navigator. It has Ascend and 2 and 2 blue. We can tap it. We're going to put this on the bottom of its owner's library. We're going to take an extra turn after this one. We can only activate this if we have the city's blessing. We also have Port Raiser in the deck. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, we're going to untap each creature we control, and after that combat phase, there's an additional combat phase. But Port Raiser can't attack a player it has already attacked this turn. There's Vanquisher's Banner, another great card for drawing cards. We get to choose a creature type. Creatures get +1/+1, and whenever we cast a creature spell of the chosen type, we get to draw a card. There's Herald's Horn. We get to choose a creature type, and they're going to cost 1 less. And also at our upkeep, we can look at the top card of our library, and if it is that chosen creature type, we get to put it in our hand, and then we also get to draw a card after that. Let's talk about Windfall. This is a great way to discard your hand and get a new, potentially 7 or more. Hopefully whoever has the greatest hand or card size will have 7 or more cards, and we're going to draw that many. There's also Blood Money. We destroy all creatures, and for each non-token creature destroyed this way, we get a tapped treasure token. Black Market Connections. This is a $26 card, and at our pre-combat main phase, we get to choose 1 or more. We can create a treasure token and lose 1 life. We can draw a card and lose 2 life, and we can create a 3/2 colorless shapeshifter with Changeling, and we're going to lose 3. We can choose one or more of these options. The last deck is the Veloci-ramp-tor. Starting with the most expensive creatures, we have Apex Allosaur. When it enters the battlefield, we can fight up to one target creature we don't control. It also has Enrage, which means whenever this is dealt damage, it fights up to one target creature you don't control. We also have Xenagos, God of Rebels. As long as our devotion to red or green is less than 7, this is not a creature. It's just going to be a legendary enchantment. At the beginning of combat on our turn, another target creature we control gets haste and +X/+X, where X is that creature's power. We also have Temple Allosaur. If a source would deal damage to another dinosaur you control, prevent all but one of that damage. Runic Armasaur. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of a creature or land that isn't a mana ability, we may draw a card. Ripjaw Raptor. Whenever this is dealt damage, we're going to be able to draw a card. Kinjali Sunwing. Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield, tap. Zakama Primal Calamity. This is a lot for one creature. It also costs us 9 mana. It has Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. When it enters the battlefield, if we've cast it, we get to untap all of our lands. We can also pay 2 and a red to deal 3 to target creature. We could pay 2 and a green to destroy an artifact or an enchantment, or we can pay 2 and a white to gain 3 life. Let's talk about Descendant's Path. This is a $7 card enchantment that says at the beginning of your upkeep, we're going to reveal the top card of our library. If it's a creature card that shares a creature type with a creature you control, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Otherwise, we're going to put that on the bottom of our library. And since this and all the other decks are all based on creature types, this is perfect for this deck. We also have Rhythm of the Wild. Creature spells you control can't be countered, and non-token creatures you control have Riot, which means when they enter the battlefield, you can give them a +1/+1 counter, or you can give them haste. Next up is Akroma's Will. This is $19. If we control our commander, we get to cast this, and we may choose both. Creatures you control gain Flying, Vigilance, Double Strike until end of turn, and creatures you control gain Lifelink, Indestructible, and Protection from all colors until end of turn. Let's talk about Chandra's Ignition. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. This is a very powerful card if we can get a really big dinosaur. So to recap, the Veloci-ramp-tor deck is the most expensive. We just talked about some of the more expensive cards in each of these decks, $3 and above. And if you'd like any of these decks, they're all going to be in the description. And let me know which commander deck you're thinking about picking up. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.